Hello everybody and welcome to my tutorial on MLA Format. In this tutorial you will learn some formatting rules related to the MLA style. Specifically, you will learn how you can set your Microsoft Word document to MLA specifications, how you can format direct quotations and headings and subheadings, as well as how to write the first page of your essay in MLA style. MLA style specific guidelines for formatting documents, and when writing your essays it is important that you follow these guidelines. Of course, it is always best to consult with your instructor or professor before you set these formattings. In order to set your paper as per MLA specifications, you will need to use the toolbar available on the top of your Microsoft Word document. As you can see in the screenshot here, the first thing that you need to do is to click on Page Layout, which is available from the toolbar. I have pointed it out using the arrow on top of the screen over here. Once you have clicked on Page Layout, you will see the margins option that you then need to click in order to set the margins as per MLA specifications. The margin for MLA specifications is normal, which basically means it should be 1 inch from all sides, top, left, bottom, and right. All you need to do to set your paper to this normal specification is to select the normal option and click on it. Next, we are going to set the font style and size to MLA specifications. Normally for MS Word, the default font is Calibri and the default size is 11. You will of course need to change that to Times New Roman size 12, which is the expected and accepted font size and style for MLA. So the way to do that is click on the drop down menu here, and from this drop down menu you go all the way down to Times New Roman and select that. You do the same for the drop down menu in the font size, and instead of 11 go down and select 12. Once you have selected the font size and style, you will now need to make sure that your paper is set to double spacing, which is what MLA requires. In order to do that, you need to access the paragraph option to set the spacing. In order to do that, there are two ways in which you can access paragraph. You can access paragraph from the toolbar in the Microsoft Word on top of your page, like here. If you notice here, there's a very small drop down menu. You can click on that and all the paragraph options will open up for you. Alternatively, you can right click on the middle of your page and you will have the paragraph option open up for you like it is displayed here. So either one of the options is useful. You can pick whichever one you want. The idea is to get to the paragraph area. Once you get to the paragraph area, the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that all your indentation and spacings are set to 0 point. Okay, many times in the default, particularly in the spacing area, there may be a 0.1 or -1 or different numbers. Just make sure that you manually go in there, you click on these buttons on the top or below to bring the specifications to 0, and then you set it at 0. The spacing for the body of all MLA style essays and other documents is always double, so you will use the line spacing, use the drop down menu from here and click on double. Once you have selected all the options, be sure to click on the OK at the bottom of the page to set those options for the rest of your paper. Next, we are going to talk about how to set the Works Cited page in MLA Format. Now, Works Cited page is the page where all the information about your citations are provided. It is always started on a new page after the end of your essay. Typically, works cited page will always be double spaced, have hanging indents, should be listed alphabetically by last name of author. There should be no spacing between items on the list. There should be no numbering of items. And most importantly, important because this is a kind of a controversial thing, in the new MLA style, you are not required to provide URLs or the web addresses of your online sources. However, MLA does give instructors and professors the option, in case they want the students to provide URLs, they can request the students to do so. So my advice to you would be to talk to your instructor or professor and make sure that they do not require the URLs. If they do, you will need to provide those. For example, in my class, I do require my students to submit the URLs of all the web sources they have used in the works cited page. Typically, the works cited page is already set to double spacing because you did that to set up the rest of your documents. The only thing that you really need to change here is to set that particular page to hanging indents. Now, make sure that you're only setting the works cited page to hanging indents and not the rest of your paper. In order to do that, I recommend that you first write out all your citation lists. So whatever number of citations you have in the works cited page, write them all together alphabetically, as I explained in the previous slide. Once you have finished writing all your citations, highlight the entire page or pages of works cited, and then use the paragraph option that you had used in the previous to set your page for the rest of the body. Just use that paragraph option to go to indentation, and then in the under special you need to use the drop down menu and set that particular works cited page to hanging indent, and once done you click on OK. So just make sure that you're not doing this for the entire paper, because this is required only for your works cited page. Now we're going to talk about the first page setup in MLA. Unlike APA and other citation styles, MLA does not really require writers to have a separate title page. Instead, what MLA requires is that the first page of your paper should be set up to be the title page of your essay. In order to do this, it is really very simple. What you need to do is, in the title page, you need to have a running header with a page number, the title text, and the title of your essay. In order to do that, first of all, we are going to set the header and the page number. You need to again use the toolbar on your Microsoft Word document at the top, and you just go there and you select insert right here. Once the insert option is open, you will have the option of inserting several things. As you can see here, you can insert a picture, clip art, shapes, etc. Now what you want to do is you want to insert a page number. So you go to page number, you use the drop down menu for the page number, and then select top of page. Once you select top of page, you will have multiple options, and you will need to select item number 3, which is top of page on the flush to the right of the paper. Once you do that, we move on to the next option, which is writing the header. So as you can see, once you click on page number on the top of the page number will pop up here, but you still need to create the proper MLA header. In order to do that, you need to put your last name, not your first name, your last name right next to the page number, and put a space in between the two. Once you're done with that, just go ahead and click on this red X in a red box here, and that will close the header page, and your running head and page number would have been set for the rest of the paper. For the first page, you need to give the title text, which is basically your first name and last name, your professor's name, the course name and number, and the date of submission, and you need to flush this to the left. Right beneath the title text, you need to give the essay title. Do not underline the essay title, but you do need to boldface it if you want to. MLA style has different requirements for having headings and subsections and sections. And typically you are using Arabic numbers with a period followed by a space and the section name, as it is shown here in these examples. If you're using subsections, then you just need to make sure that underneath the main section, which is soil conservation here, for example, you put the next numbers here as displayed here. So it's 1.1 erosion, 1.2 terracing. If you have more, then you keep going to 1.3, 1.4 till you're done with the 1. The 1 basically represents the main heading or the main section, and then the point 1, point 2, etc. represent the subsections related to the main section. While using quotations in MLA, there are several different requirements both for prose and for poetry. Usually you will put the quotations within quotation marks if there are short quotations, and once you have finished writing the quotations, after you finish the quotation mark, you will put the in-text citation as I have shown in the example here. So both the quotation marks are finished and then the in-text citation comes here. For longer quotations, you use what we call the block format. What that means is you cite the quotation as a mini paragraph. You do not use quotation marks. Instead, you put an extra tab right after the sentence that is introducing the quotation, and then you copy paste the entire quotation. You do need to use the in-text citation as you did before at the end of the quotation as shown here. So here you're introducing the quotation to the readers, you put a comma, and then you reproduce the quotation, and then you have your citation here. In poetry, for short quotations, you basically need to write out the lines with a single backslash here as displayed, and then again you do the citation. For longer quotations, you again do the same block formatting, but in longer quotations you need to keep the format of the poetry as close to the original one as possible, as displayed here. If you're omitting any words or lines when you're quoting, whether it is short quotation or long quotation, you do need to make sure that you put ellipses in between. Okay, ellipses are basically 3 dots that come here. As you've seen here, there is an explanation here. Right here, if you omit a word or words from a quotation, you should indicate the deleted words or phrases by the ellipses. So these are 3 little dots that you need to put in between the areas where the words are missing or those that you have not actually taken from there. The same thing applies for poetry. When you're omitting words from poetry quotations, you will again use a standard 3-period ellipsis. But if you're deleting an entire line of poetry, then you need to display it as it is shown in this example here. So that was basically some simple rules and tips to format your paper as per MLA style. In the next tutorial, I'm going to talk about MLA citations. Please make sure you check those out. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Just drop me a line and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial.